I'd like to welcome you guys back. It's been a long, tough winter over here, and I thought I would end it with a walkthrough of all three of my current listening setups. Also, I'm going to update you guys on a recent big purchase I made. So stick around, grab your favorite cup of snake wine or perhaps your sourdough cocktail, and let's do this.
It's you. Ooh, ooh, I'm in love with you. You got the
Alright guys, so we're going to start with my main listening room, and I am actually going to start this with the big honkin' TV behind me. It is a Sony XBR85X850F. It's a mouthful, I know. I got it about 5 years ago when we moved in here. I think it's a 6-year-old TV. It was a really screaming deal, so I'm not complaining. But sometimes you get what you pay for. If this thing were to die, suddenly I wouldn't shed a single tear. Instead, I'd probably go out and get a similarly sized TV in OLED, because OLED has come such a long way in the last couple of years, and man, I love them. But aside from that, it's been good, it's been fine. I've actually never mentioned my Sonos system that I have down here. So I've got an Arc. This is like the first Arc that came out, and it's actually pretty decent. Over there, I'll put in a photo right here. I've got the Sub Gen 3. In the back, I've got two Era 300s. So what this system does, without having to wire into the ceiling, it projects Atmos up onto the ceiling, and then it's supposed to hit you, so you think that sound is coming from the ceiling and behind you. And there's also Atmos speakers in the Arc as well. Does it work? Yeah, actually it does work pretty well. When there are special effects that have Atmos built in, the odd time it'll just hit you a weird way, and you'll think, oh yeah, that's right, I've got Atmos speakers. Apart from that, listening to music on these things, a little soulless. It's just, even Atmos tracks from Apple Music that I've tested out, yes, it works. It just sounds like like it's lacking. But I'm sure you can agree with me, in comparison to these big honkin' speakers behind me, that would be why that I would consider that soulless. So these are the Klipsch Cornwall 4s. I'm going to take off the grills because they look so evil with the grills off. I love these things. And ever since I did that first demo with them that I uploaded and sent to YouTube, I knew I had to buy them. I ended up buying them. I did a review. These are actually, to this date, these are the only speakers I've ever reviewed. And man, they deserved a review. They're so freaking perfect for this room and my use case. And I don't know, I think they may be my forever speakers. We'll see, but I haven't gotten sick of them yet. I don't think I will. I have such a great time listening down here. All right, driving these bad boys is the amazing Hagel H390. I did a review on that as well. It's a dual mono 250 watt per channel beast of an amp that you may think would be overkill to drive these, relatively easy to drive speakers, but that's not the case at all. They sound amazing together. I'm very happy with things the way they sound. Having said that, I did find that the H400 slightly improved sound quality, just a little bit when using an external DAC, which I'll get into next, but not enough to justify the bath that I would have to take selling the H390 and then buying the H400 new. If you're not using an external DAC, there was more of a difference, but anyways, I get into that in my review video that you could watch if you haven't already. So yeah, H390 is amazing. In the back here, I'll start with the DAC. We've got the Denafrips Venus 2 in all of its unupgraded glory. I never upgraded it. It's a great oversampling DAC. It sounds awesome with all of this equipment, and I've just never felt the need to upgrade the firmware. I don't want to change the sound because I'm quite happy with it, to be honest. Now, I can't tell you how many different versions of this DAC have come out since the 12th, the 15th, I don't know. And I'm sure those are all great DACs. I'm just happy with this one. So I'm going to keep using it until someone ships me something different and it beats it. Actually, there is a DAC that beat it, but we'll talk about that later on. So connected to that is the Lumen U2 Mini streamer, of course. And in order to get the best from that Lumen U2 Mini streamer, which is an amazing streamer, I have a review for that as well if you're interested. I had to hook that up to a DDC, the Singzer SU6, did a review for that as well. And the reason being is it just sounds best from its I2S port. So it was kind of a weird, almost arbitrary way that I had to get in order to get the best out of that DAC, but it does work, it sounds great. If I were doing things over today, would I get all of the same stuff? No, probably not. But now that I have it, I'm quite happy with it. And I sit down on that lazy boy that you can't see, and I have the best time just listening to music and relaxing and unwinding. And yeah, this is my main listening setup. I'm pretty happy here. Welcome to my second setup that I'm going to show you guys. This is our family room. Behind me, it looks small, but it's actually quite big. It's a 77-inch OLED TV made by LG. It's called the G3, and this TV it's arguably the best TV in the house. It's fantastic. If I could make it 85 inches and swap the Sony with it in my main listening room, that'd be nice. But I digress. So on either side, you'll see the KEF LS50 Metas in that beautiful blue. And these are, I've had these since the beginning of my channel. They're fantastic bookshelf speakers. They're about 1.5 feet from the wall, which isn't ideal, let's be honest. Ideally, they'd be out about 4 feet from the wall. And on the included stands that I have with them that match, looking great. But unfortunately, this is a high traffic area. You got the dog running through, you got the kids playing, and it's just, I can't have that here. So they've got to be tucked back there. They've got the included foam inserts are plugging up the ports, which does help. You know, imaging would definitely be better if they were out here, but that's fine. Listening to music down here is still like just a great experience. So as you can see, we've got U2. Hold on, that's a better track. I like Bob Dylan better than U2. Controversial thing to say, I know. It's just the man in me that thinks that Bob Dylan's better than U2. So we've got this playing through Roon. This is actually an app on my Apple TV called TV Remote that connects to my Roon server and plays the album art, and you can actually control it as well through the Apple Remote, which is really nice. Connected to the LS50 Metas is the amazing Peachtree GAN 1 amp. So this is a 200 watt per channel beast of a solid state amp by Peachtree Audio. I've got a review for that if you're interested. This thing drives the LS50 Metas just beautifully. The LS50 Metas are not easy speakers to drive. They're budget speaker price, but they're not good budget speaker starters because of their difficulty to drive. Can you drive them with something that's 65, 75 watts per channel? Yes. Will they sound their best? No way in hell they will sound their best. And I learned that the hard way from another video. I'm sure that you could figure out which one. But that's fine. If someone comes to me and says, what is the cheapest amp that I could get that will still make the LS50 Metas sound amazing, I definitely say the Peachtree GAN 1. It's the bare minimum, but it just drives them fantastically. And connected to the Peachtree GAN 1 is the amazing Blue Sound Node. That's the 2021 version. I know that they've come out with versions since, but that still works. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Don't replace it. It does its job very well. It acts as the audio hub to this whole room. It's room ready. Hooked up to that on the other side is the KEF KC62 subwoofer, which takes care of the low end that you obviously miss out with these little bookshelf speakers. It sounds very full down here. It sounds amazing. And I have it also tucked away in here. And this is the other end of the room. And I had to mention this because this is the best couch I think I've ever had. It is the best couch I've ever had. It's called the Cloud Couch, and it's made by Restoration Hardware, and it's just flippin' fantastic. It's copied a lot. You could get a much cheaper dupe, but all of the copies that I've checked out aren't even close to the comfort level you get from this thing. It just sucks you in. I don't know if it's the feathers or the pillows or the way it's made, but you just sit in it and it sucks you in. And if you're at all remotely, even like just a sliver, just a little bit tired, you will pass out in 5-10 minutes. And I can't tell you how many, it's been countless times that I've done that. And yeah, so the Cloud Couch. Your couch or your chair is actually a really important part of your listening room and your experience. So yeah, a lot of reviewers use that Herman Miller Ames chair, and I've sat in them. They're nice, but they're nowhere near as comfortable as this or a Lazy Boy. But they look nice. It's a very good couch. It also comes in like a chair, and I have one of those in my bedroom, and it's just this big chair, and it's so flippin' comfortable. Get that couch. So is this an ideal setup? And for music, I'd say it's very serviceable. But unfortunately for TV and movies, it's not 100%, to be honest. So the KEF LS50 Metas, unfortunately, they have a bit of a dip in the upper mid-range. And while this lends itself to, a great experience listening to, otherwise would-be shrill music, for dialogue, if it's in that upper mid-range area, it's just a little undiscernible unless you crank the volume up. And when you crank the volume up, everything else is too loud and the upper mid-range is, a little better. So I can't say, sometimes you need subtitles, unfortunately, with dialogue. And that's kind of a problem that I'm having. But it's only sometimes, it's only with the upper mid-range. If I was gonna upgrade one thing, it would actually be the speakers. And just get something with just a more level upper mid-range. But I honestly don't know what I would get. If you guys have any suggestions, something that would fit in this cavity. The LS50s fit perfectly, and they sound great otherwise, but I don't know. It's not perfect, but it's good, and it's great for music. So that's the setup for my family room. All right, so that brings us to my last setup, which is here in my office. So we're gonna start with the TVs. So behind me is the LG G4, which is a 65-inch OLED, made from LG, of course. And as far as TVs go, this thing's freaking amazing. Picture quality is second to none, in my opinion, with an asterisk, at the time of this recording, because things are always getting better. But I'm really happy with this thing. It's freaking amazing. So over there on my desk, you're gonna see this 55-inch Samsung S90D. And I know what you're thinking, overkill to have two large-ish TVs, but that one's strictly for working, this one's for fun. There's a party over here, and the business is over there. I used to have an LG 48-inch C1 over there, but once I got the G4, because they're both made from LG, turning one on would be so obnoxious because the other one would go on. I had to fix that, and there was no way to do it without blocking infrared sensors. So what I did was I gave the C1 to one of my kids, and I got the S90D on sale. So everyone's very happy, especially my kid. Now, audio-wise, we've got some of the old stuff you guys have been seeing in my videos and one new thing. So on either side of me, you're gonna see the beautiful blue R3 Metas. I bought these about 1.5 years ago, and I actually never made a review for them, so here's my quick and dirty. They're effing amazing speakers. If you guys get a chance to demo them, just do it. They're everything I like about the LS50 Metas, but just dialed up to 11. So there's no more scoop in the upper mid-range, but they still manage to not be shrill at all when I'm playing video games, watching TV, or listening to music. I actually got the matching stands with these too, but as you can see, I just have them on my dresser, on my shelf, entertainment unit, my tool chest, whatever this thing is. Now, I've had these on their stands in the family room pulled out from the wall, and they just blew me right the F away. Having said that, they still sound pretty spectacular here in my office where they are. But if I could have them anywhere and not have to make concessions about the way we live, you'd bet they'd be on their stands, pulled out from the wall. In any case, I love these speakers, and I don't feel that they need a subwoofer up here at all. I'll probably keep them until they die, or perhaps I do. Now, driving them is the amazing Hegel H190. It does a great job in this use case and pairs really well with Kefs. As you guys know, that Kef and Hegel pair really well together. Now up here is where I have my Roon server. So it's a M1 Mac Mini. I bought a lifetime subscription to Roon over 2 years ago, and it turns out that it was a really, really smart move. Roon is the absolute best software that you could possibly get to play music, and each year that cache that I plunked down becomes an even better deal. Speaking of software, I've been running HQ Player on here, and it works really well for the half-hour demo of time that they give me. Why don't I just buy it, you ask? I'm not 100% sold on it yet, to be honest. It causes delays in playback, takes up a lot of computer resources, and is hella complex to use. I do appreciate sound quality while using the software though. Who knows? Maybe they'll come out with a more intuitive, easier to use version, and I'll just plunk down the cache then. Until that happens, it's half-hour demo and then restarting the program for the next half-hour demo. Ideal? No, not at all. But that's fine because of the next piece of kit that we're going to talk about. And this is the moment you've been waiting for. This is the new bit of kit. This is the new. I'm very excited. All right, are you ready? I'm gonna turn the camera. This is so exciting. I'm doing it. Oh, wait, what is that? What is that bit of orange? Oh, Hollow. It's the Hollow May KTE from my last review. Yep, I bought it. So that's right, this thing is mine now. I still have to pay off my Visa, so technically it's Visa's, but I own it. I was just about to pack it up and send it back to Tim at Kitsune Hi-Fi, and I just found myself, no. I just couldn't. It was just a rabbit hole I couldn't possibly climb out of. After demoing the Cyan and then the Spring 3, deep down inside, I knew I would end up with one of their DACs, but I just didn't expect the emotional hold that the May held over me. You ever play with a puppy at the pet store as a kid and then have to leave it behind? Well, this wasn't exactly a puppy, more like a baby fox, and now that I have it, it's just staying. Simply put, this thing running in non-oversampling is just unreal. And yeah, I know the DAC amp speakers combo is sort of lopsided. I recently had some judgy comment in my May review, and it was along those lines. But you know what? It doesn't matter. This is my gear. Comparing various DACs, even on this perceptively lowly Hegel H190, the Hollow May comes out way ahead of the others. Does it scale up with better electronics and speakers? Absolutely. Now, some of you may be thinking, well, why not install the May on your main listening room, downstairs with the better speakers as well as the better electronics? And to that, I'd answer, yeah, sure. And that will happen sometimes, but I've been enjoying it in my more modest office setup so much, and I actually use the remote all the time to change the inputs, so it fits. Not having to get up is really high on my priorities list, and the way I listen down in my main setup is just with one input on my Denafrips Venus 2, which sounds great, by the way. Watching TV and movies is done through the Sonos system down there, so yeah, that's where I'm at right now. the May's frickin' awesome. Endgame frickin' awesome. One thing I wanted to mention is the back of the remote is like super slippery, and it often slides off my leather Lazy Boy arm. So what I plan on doing is ordering like a grippy type of sticker. So it's got adhesive, and then it's got this rubber grip on the back. Other than that, I'm very happy with this thing. So I did manage to actually find a rubber mat for the back of the remote, and I'm really happy with it, so I figured I'd share it with you guys before I posted the video. So it's a anti-slip furniture protector mat that I got from Amazon, and it's, as you can see here, pretty much the same color, and it's nice and thick and made out of rubber, and it's got 3M adhesive on the back. You just have to make sure when you're putting on the pad not to cover up those screw holes, obviously, because then you wouldn't be able to replace the battery. And I had to trim it down a little bit with scissors so it wouldn't extend to the outer bit of the housing. It gives the remote this really nice weighted feel. It adds a lot of heft to it, but most importantly, it doesn't slide off my Lazy Boy anymore. So it just stays put where when I put it on the arm, and I'll show you here, I'll de-recline, and it just stays put, whereas before it would, often fly off the arm. So anyways, I thought I'd share that, and yeah, I'll link it below. Back to the video. So the Hollow Audio May is hooked up to the Hagel via XLR, and it's hooked up to my GSX Mini, which is a Class A headphone amplifier through RCA. Now, on that note, at my desk working, I primarily use headphones, and I've got sort of a modest collection. I've got the Focal Stellia, I've got the Meze Empyreans, the Gen 1. I frickin' love these for music. I've got the Dan Clark Aeon 2 Noirs, and in the back there, I've got the Hi-Fi Man Arias. Missing, but elsewhere in the house, are the Sennheiser HD800Ss, which I actually use those the most, but we'll get into why in another video. But yeah, so my Cord Mojo 2 is up here, no longer covering, DAC duty for this setup, but I still use it portably and on trips. And that's it. That's my setup. So yeah, I'd like you guys to let me know if there are any specific videos that you guys would like me to make, or if there are any reviews you feel may be missing from your life. Perhaps I could reach out to whoever to send me that little bit of kit. I just hope that I don't get charmed the way that I did with that DAC, because I really need to recover some funds first. With that, I'd like to thank you guys so much for watching, and I will catch you in the next video.